Hi everyone, welcome back to Desired Foods. Today we're making Irish Guinness beef stew. So here I'm starting out by putting some olive oil into a heavy pan, and then you're going to wait till that gets hot, and then you're going to just brown your beef. So here I've got it on a high heat and I'm just going to brown off the meat, and then I'm just going to generously add some salt and pepper to this while it's cooking. And it doesn't matter if you've got all the charred bits at the bottom or it starts to catch, because we're going to deglaze the pan with the Guinness later on. So this is the situation that we are looking for. So as you can see, it's quite charred on the bottom of the pan, but don't worry because that will be deglazed. So now I'm adding 1 full onion and about 3 sticks of celery, and you're just going to stir that all in till everything's combined. So now I am adding 2 chopped carrots and 1 parsnip, and we're just going to give that a good stir. To this I'm just going to add some more salt and pepper for the vegetables, and then we're just going to stir everything till it's nice and combined. So now I'm going in with some fresh rosemary and some fresh thyme. So we're just going to give that a good stir and make sure that all the herbs are nicely well incorporated. Then I'm going to add a little bit of sugar just to take that edge off the Guinness when we put it in. And now I'm going to add my Guinness. So now I'm just going to top up the rest of the liquid with some beef stock. So this next step is totally optional, but for me I'm just adding a tiny bit of tomato puree, but like I said, it's totally optional, you can leave this out. And then I'm just going to stir that all in, put it on a low heat with the lid on and let that cook for an hour. So now that my beef stew has been cooking for an hour, you can see that it has reduced. So now what we're going to do, we're just going to give that another good stir. And then we're going to pop the lid on and leave that to cook for another half an hour. So at this point you will just get all the rosemary sticks and thyme sticks, because all the herbs will be removed from there. So you will be left with the plain sticks. So at this point, as you're stirring, you can remove them like I did. So just remove them from the stew and then pop the lid back on to cook it. So while my stew is cooking for the next 30 minutes, we're going to move on to the side dish called Colcannon potatoes. So this is another traditional Irish potato side dish that they love to actually serve this stew with. Now, if I have pronounced it wrong, I am very, very sorry. So here I've just got some heated water that I've added some salt, and I've cut, peeled and washed my potatoes. And then we're going to move on to the Savoy cabbage. So here I'm just going to chop up some Savoy cabbage. Now what I do suggest is that you cut yours up a lot finer than I did. I did mine a bit too chunky, so I do suggest to just shred it up. So now I'm just moving on to some unsmoked bacon. So I've taken 3 strips of bacon and I'm just going to chop these up. So now I'm just taking a large spring onion and I'm just going to chop this up. So while we are cooking it, I will be only using the whites of the spring onion, and then the green I'll be using at the end to garnish the mashed potatoes. So in my heated pan, I'm just going to add a splash of olive oil. And then I'm just going to put my bacon bits in there, and we're just going to fry these till they get nice and golden. So now that my bacon's getting a nice colour on there, I'm just going to add the whites of the spring onions into this. And I'm just going to cook this for about a minute, and then I'm going to add my Savoy cabbage. So as you can see here, my Savoy cabbage is a little bit chunky, so I would say to just cut them a lot thinner, because the cabbage don't actually wilt down as much as I thought it would. So I would say shred it a lot thinner. I'm just adding a splash of olive oil to this just to help it get along a little bit quicker. And then we're just going to fry this till my cabbage softens up a bit. So now that I've drained my cooked potatoes, I'm just going to add them back to the pan. And then here I am just going to add some butter. And then I'm just going to pour some milk into that, and we're just going to start to mash this. Now, as you're going along, add the butter and milk. You don't want to add it all at once and then it is too watery. So what I like to do is add a little bit of butter and milk at a time to get it to the consistency that I like my mashed potato. So now I'm going to add all the fried mixture into it, and I'm just going to leave some bacon behind so I can top my mashed potato later for garnish. So that's what we're doing here now, and then we're just going to mash that all in together. And then I'm going to add the green parts of my spring onions right at the end. At this point, you want to taste for salt and pepper and add as you need it. So I'm just adding a sprinkle of salt and pepper, but you just add to taste. And then I'm just going to finish with my spring onion green parts, and that is our mashed potato ready. So this is what everything looks like once it is cooked. And this is my happy St. Patrick's meal, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys, happy St. Patrick's Day.